Welcome to the channel. My name is Caleb Hohenschel. I am a Northwest Arkansas based gaffer and key grip, sometimes DP when I need to be, but I like to kind of stay in the G&E world. I have a 2-ton grip van and I am available for hire. So today I wanted to just kind of do a little production vlog. This was a 2-day Slim Chickens commercial, and I'm going to kind of jump back and forth between voiceover and actual video I took on the day. I took some photos too. Here you can see this was a few months ago as it's snowing. Later on I'll talk about a few rigs that we did for this one, but without further ado, I'll let this roll and kind of jump back in whenever I need to. Okay, so we're loading up for a 2-day job, which is weird. It's funny, it's a 2-day job broken up. So we're shooting this today, obviously, and then Saturday. So today's Thursday, have another shoot tomorrow, and then we come back on Saturday. It's for Slim Chickens, but the flag box, Dana Dolly down here. Got all the stingers packed away, nice and, or neater anyways. 13 C stands. The Evoke is kind of buried up here. But the Evoke and ballast and the reflectors are under there. Got all the proper crates in there now, so lollipops, frames, or I should say ears and corners, and then menace arm and other rigging in there as well. That's pretty much it. Got all the rags back up there. It's been really cold, so I took some of the rags out to try to protect them a little bit, but got them all back up there. I got the Mambo up top. That's the only place it'll fit in a truck this small. And then I have my wind up and junior roller as well. So yeah, that's it for the grip. And then down here we got a small little lighting package. I need to clean it up a little bit, but 2 Novas, a 720B, both the Lico mounts, the Fresnel, the 1x3 light cloth, the 2x2s down there as well, and then a 60B with the Fresnel. And that's all the stuff, or that's some of the stuff we're not taking. So I've had to do a little bit of rearranging recently. These are all my 4x, so you got your bead board, your couple blade frames, shiny boards, and then just more 4x here. So single net, double net. I like to get this more organized, but it's just a really tight fit right now. Shot bags and sandbags are gonna go here, and then we're gonna hit the road. So I'm just gonna let these play through for a minute and just do some narration. So as you can see, we had a Nova P600C through its softbox with the grid. The softbox on it is pretty nice. I like it a fair bit, and it's nice and affordable. Here you can see a little bit what we're doing outside, causing some sun streaks. A lot of this is actual sun, which we had to block off a little bit of it, but we kind of got lucky. By the time we actually went to shoot, it was more in our favor. Outside we had 2 shiny boards, and the thing about shiny boards is they only work obviously when the sun's out. So right now it was pretty blue skies, but if it's overcast or even in and out, they don't work quite as well. So this is later on in the day. We went to a scene, kind of where the friends are all having a good time eating chicken together at the table. And then later on we went to this last scene. I'm going to pause it right here and just kind of highlight this element. So this is a little rig. I'm going to do a little breakdown on it in a future episode, I think. But this is a little 60B, Forza 60B bouncing up into a mirror, and it's creating a pattern on the wall. Like I said, I'm going to do an in-depth breakdown of it. As you can see, we also have the P600. That was kind of our key light. And then when we needed to soften it more, which I don't think we did need to soften it anymore on this day. A trick I usually use with this thing is a wag flag in front of it, or just a 4x4 frame in front of it to soften it a little bit more. And then as you can see, if I skip to this next picture, we have a boom arm. I call this a C-boom. Some people call it different things, I guess, but it's basically a turtle base C-stand. This one is a Kupo C-stand. It's the only Kupo C-stand I have, and I use it specifically for this because it doesn't flex and bend quite as much. This is an IntelliTech light cloth 1x3, and I just mounted the ballast on top, sandbag on the back, and then a ratchet strap down to the base just for safety. I think I'm going to do an in-depth kind of breakdown on this rig as well, because I get a lot of questions about it and a lot of eyebrows raised at it, but it just works so well and it's so quick and easy to set up as opposed to an actual menace arm that I just keep going back to it. You know, I bought this thing a couple of years ago and I just keep going back to it. I really, really like it just for its simplicity and flexibility. This is the Nanlite projector mount with a 720B on it. I love this combo. This was to create a hard slash on the bottom half of their bodies. You can kind of see it here. If I go back here, the window, I didn't touch on this. The window was kind of our key light, and the Nova, I should say, really was our fill. It wasn't quite the key in this circumstance. So outside, I know we had an Evoke outside for sure, and we might have had another P600, or we might have, I'm kind of spacing. I think it was a P600 pretty close up to the window, and then an Evoke outside as well. And the Evoke was obviously supplying most of the horsepower, and that is a half grid in front of it, so making it nice and soft. It looked very nice. I liked how it turned out. We were doing some vignette shots, so we did like 5 or 6 of these, and we were moving really fast, so we had to, I was basically just swinging this Lico barrel around and, you know, giving little pops of light in the background. That's the end for day 1. As we go to day 2 now, this is the unloading. So we were shooting in a library. This is Fayetteville Public Library. Beautiful, beautiful library. This was loading in. We threw everything we needed on Rubbermaid carts. And this, I'm going to pause it here. So some of you might not be familiar with this. Some of you that are more into this might know what this is. But this is called triangle truss. But you take speed rail and these couplers, these triangle couplers, and also just the 2-pipe couplers are sold by Modern Studio Equipment. Basically, it's just a good way to make a nice sturdy goalpost rig. You can make other rigs with it, but typically what I use it for is goalposts. I'll kind of come back to the making of it. But here you can see one of our grips, Tanner. We rigged 2 Nova P600s overhead, and we did eventually throw the diffusion and the grid on them as well. But basically it makes it stronger, right? So if you were to just put one piece of pipe over this table in a standard goalpost configuration, it would sag quite a bit, and it might be, you know, even a little bit sketchy. Each of these heads are about 30 pounds, a little over 30 pounds, I believe. And that might be a little sketchy. I've actually never tried that because I just go to the triangle truss more often than not. So here's a picture of the speed rail that we use. So we use 12-foot pipe for the base of it, and then we use the smaller section to do the bridge piece, if you will, at the top. And that was the triangle truss part, and that was the part that we actually hung the light from, and we did that also to be able to get the light higher to the ceiling. You always want to buy the DP as much headroom with lights like this as you can. And really quick, I believe I misspoke earlier. We actually did not, as you can see in these pictures, we did not put the grid on these. So we preferred to let them spill a little bit. A lot of these shots, we were just focused on the food, on the hands of cooking, slicing, whatever they were doing. It's a great rig, you know, it's out of people's way. Moving on, the only other thing we had going on these, we had a few things, I guess. So we did have the Evoke, which you can see here. It has some CTO on it, and I believe that was quarter CTO. And that's just because I don't have the 1200B, which is the newer one, which is bicolor. So the DP wanted this warmed up a little bit. No big deal. You just throw some CTO on it. With the reflectors on the Evoke, one thing that's nice about them is you can tape them. As long as you leave a little bit of ventilation, you're not going to melt them. So, and we just kind of walked the Evoke around for a nice backlight. As you can see here, we had a 720B kind of in the background with the Fresnel, and then we just had a 60B giving a pop in the background as well. Just to kind of highlight. And then we also had another 720B in a softbox just for a quick, soft source that we could point any direction that we needed to. So that is it. Again, thank you for watching. I am linking all the commercials that we produced on these 2 days in the description below. So I think there were 3 or 4 of them that, they kind of cut them up into different variations, but check them out. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you would have done anything differently. And as always, have a great day.